Errors can be fatal in an operating room. For decades, diagnoses and surgical plans have been made based on 2D X-rays and MRI scans, requiring doctors to rely on instinct during surgical procedures. When 18-month-old Gabriel started having hundreds of micro-seizures called mind erasers every day, surgeons at Boston Children's Hospital piloted a revolutionary technique to save his brain.
Gabriel is 18 months old, and he was born January 28th of 2013, and he had a major stroke at birth and actually almost died, and Boston Children's Hospital saved him. And about 5 months later, he developed these horrible seizures called infantile spasms. They call them mind erasers, actually, because many children who end up with these spasms forget everything that they've already learned. The scariest part about it was that we were warned that he could maybe forget us. So every day, we would go into his crib and be like, please don't let this be the day that he forgets who we are. We had talked to many people here at the hospital, and it was decided that he needed to have something called a hemispherectomy.
So hemispherectomy is probably the most challenging operation, and it's used in fairly rare cases where one whole half of the brain is not working well but is causing seizures, and involves actually disconnecting one whole half of the brain from the rest of the brain and from everything on the other side. What's really made a big difference is being able to actually get a model of the brain that we can practice the surgery on before doing the surgery.
I'll never forget when he said, you know, we're going to do something with your son that we've never done with anybody before. And I was like, what? And he said, we have this 3D printing machine, and I can make an actual replica of his brain before the surgery.
3D printing has been used to make guns, dresses, cars, and prosthetics, but using new 3D technology, BCH can simulate the conditions of even the most difficult of surgeries. This technology allows them to take CT and MRI scans of a patient's brain and turn them into 3D printed models, which surgeons can practice on before going into the operating room.
So I was actually able to perform this operation in its entirety on this child the night before surgery and actually show it to the parents and say, this is what we're going to be doing.
It was so amazing to know that the surgeon was going to go in and actually do the surgery on this replica before he was going to touch my baby.
Until now, medical simulations have been limited to simple training exercises like CPR or intubation. Gabriel's surgery marks a breakthrough in medical simulation.
Nobody wants to be the first person to get a hemispherectomy from a particular surgeon ever, really. So why would you ever want to have your first operation be on a real patient? And I think that's what we're seeing with the simulator movement.
3D printing using simulation offers an opportunity to cascade knowledge, to share knowledge in a box. If there's a surgeon in another country who is interested in doing a very particular surgery on a patient, on a child, imagine the opportunity to send the images of that particular patient, have us print those images, have our surgeons iterate the surgery, and send them back essentially a kit that they can hold in their hands. That's a game changer.
Being able to actually do a patient-specific operation, I think, is a real plus that I've really enjoyed having that opportunity. We did the surgery. This boy has been seizure-free ever since, and his parents are just absolutely thrilled, and they're really wonderful people, all three of them.
He's doing great. He's starting to hit all these milestones that he missed. He doesn't have to have these seizures take his life away. I hope every hospital in the world ends up with this kind of technology because it is such a godsend. I thank God for this place every day. Thank you.